Alright guys, I'm live. Welcome in. This is Hanging with Dave, episode 42. There's a few little disclaimers I like to throw out at the beginning of each one of these that I do. It's just a little live talk show I do. Pretty well I'll go through the comments or any questions anybody's left on my videos for the past week or so. And take any kind of questions or comments or concerns that y'all may have in chat for anybody that's live with me. As far as my disclaimers go, I do drink me a cold beer while I do this. There's also a language warning. Cheers to y'all. I am a truck driver by trade, so my language ain't always the best. I try to keep it to a minimum while I do this, but you may hear a wordy dirt or a cuss word from time to time. Also, I ain't very good with the English language, let alone some of these YouTube handles y'all have. So if I butcher your names too bad while I do this, overlook me or forgive me, or get mad at me, whichever way you like to do it. But yeah, there is that. We got a few people watching this morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you all made it in today. We got a little Flame here that's available, and we got Joseph Malanda, I guess is the way you pronounce that. Greetings from Philippines, Dave's. Well, welcome in. Glad you joined me here from the Philippines. I think we're all signed up for that. I'm here from the Netherlands. Well, good. Seems like my reach is making a little bit around the world, I reckon. It just ain't local people here. Not too bad. Looks like I got me and 3 other people watching. That's pretty good. Not bad for this morning. Welcome in. Also, I want to give out special thanks here at the end of the show today. Someone actually put it out on Reddit about me, and it actually did pretty good for the channel, did pretty good for the community. So I want to give him a special thanks. Joseph, saw your channel got posted on Reddit. PC Master Race. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, bud. I want to give that guy a special thanks here towards the end of the show today. And actually, you want to kind of go through what he did for the channel. I actually personally messaged him. I actually opened up, started a Reddit account because I'd never been on Reddit before, and it wouldn't even let me post a thank you in the comments because I wasn't on Reddit long enough. So I had to personally message him to tell him thanks for what he did. Lil Flame, yep, that's why I'm here too. Let's see, what made you into PC tech or being an enthusiast? That goes back quite a few years ago. Actually all the way back to high school, so you're looking 30 years ago or so. Michael Grimmett, hi Dave, I really enjoyed your videos. Much love and keep it up. I plan on keeping it up. But what got me into the PC trade or PC tech and becoming an enthusiast within the PCs? Like a lot of people that's into tech, I'm kind of an invert. I like to stick to myself. Me and real life people don't get along too well. I talk a little funny even from the area, in the area I'm from, I talk a little funny. I walk a little funny, I got bad legs. And when I got into high school, I could try getting into auto body, I tried to get in auto mechanics, all them classes were filled up. But computer repair was available, so I got into computer repair when I was in high school through trade school. That's where I got into PCs. My love for PC started before that even, as a console player. I had the Nintendo 64, I had the Sega Genesis. I started out with that. Once I got into high school and I got into computer repair and whatnot, it really turned me into what a computer can do much better than what a console can do. I never did do it professionally, I took some bad advice when I was young. They say if you find something that you're really interested in, don't do it for a living because it becomes a job, it ain't an interest. I probably shouldn't have listened to that. I probably should have followed my dreams of becoming an IT specialist. I'd probably be better off today. But, so you're looking back in the late 80s, whenever I got into PCs. So yeah, I do have quite a bit of experience with PCs. As far as becoming an enthusiast, you know, even back then I kind of got into the more heavy stuff. You know, I wanted the graphics card, I wanted the bigger drives. I wanted to see how far I could push a system to its limits to get the best performance out of it, even back then. So yeah, so that's it. You know, it's kind of where I come from as far as computers and stuff come from. It's a little bit on my background. I've actually been considering, I don't know, maybe you guys give me your opinion on it. Kind of putting out a video about where I come from, you know, because I don't know, to actually get to know somebody or get to actually enjoy somebody's content, you need to know about the past and why you should be listening to them. I've been thinking about putting a video up like that, you know, because you ain't the only one that's asked me how I got into PC tech, or, you know, why I do what I do, or why I do this. You know, I do it because I enjoy helping people. Computers is just something that I'm naturally good at anyways, and then on top of that, like I said, you know, in high school I got into the computer repair side of it. It just kind of went hand to hand. Little flame, I mean, I'm all down for that. Always interested in hearing someone's local stories. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I don't know how much to actually put into it. I don't know how much to leave out of it. You know, I ain't going to do it for try to draw much attention to the channel. Just kind of for the ones that subscribe to me and whatnot to be interested in something like that. But that's got a little bit of my background on the PC side of things and how I got into it and everything like that. I'll flip you guys over here now, and we're going to go down through these comments. There's quite a few for this week. Eldoro Rebilado, hey man, thanks for your content. I recently discovered your channel. Came from Reddit. Love, man. Keep it up. I'll plan on. Alfredo, hey Dave, sorry can't stay long, just dropping in. Just dropped by the show, some love. By the way, I decided to get the Asus VC279 1080p 5 millisecond time. Take your advice, thanks for that. No, you're welcome for that. 1080p, I think it's a high refresh rate monitor, I believe. Oh fuck, I was noticed. Yeah, you was noticed. I kind of pay attention to the chat. That's a 60 hertz monitor. Okay, that's still Asus makes pretty good monitors. 5 millisecond response time. That's pretty good for first person shooters. Not bad. I'm gonna flip you guys over here and start down these comments. We got quite a few this week. A lot of them don't go into too much detail, but you know, I like to notice everybody. You know, I want to thank everybody that's came and joined the community. You know, everybody that watches my stuff, everybody that comments, subscribes. You know, shows me, does a little bit of sharing of my content. You know, it really means a lot to me. Joseph, will you be reviewing or benchmarking the RTX 30 series cards? Eldoro, maybe my day, dude. I'm planning to build for the 30 series. I'm more in the single player slide side of things. Will I be reviewing or benchmarking the RTX 30 series cards? That's a good question, Joseph. I'm actually considering buying the 3070 when it comes available. But by the time it comes available and I can actually purchase it, hopefully I can be one of the first ones to buy one. You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff already out on them. And while I'm going to go with the 3070, number one, it's affordable. But number two, you know, I can compare it to what I run now, which is the 2070 Super, to kind of see what kind of performance gains you can get out of it compared to what I'm running now. But if I do, you know, if I do the 30 series, if I get the 3070, it's going to be mainly for the channel. Because that 2070 Super I'm running right now, that's more than enough for what I do. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't think they come out for another month or so, so I got a little bit of time to put into it. You know, I'm so small of a channel, I don't get stuff gave to me, so I gotta wait till it comes available. So, yeah, 30 series will be a scarce there in the States, so I have no hope here. I'm from Chile, by the way. Well, welcome in from Chile. Yeah, they're gonna be very scarce. They're gonna be hard to come up with. But I'm going to see what I can do. I think they release at midnight, usually at midnight when they release. I'm usually up by about 1 o'clock in the morning anyways. I'm getting ready for work, so I'm hoping that I can snag one. I'm thinking about snagging one. I think it'd be a pretty good comparison to put one up against the 2070 Super that I'm running now and see what kind of performance gains is out of it, because I've only had my 2070 Super for, what, 4 months now, I think, something like that. And I paid $550 for that thing when I bought it. And they're bringing these things out now for $500, and they're supposed to have the performance of the 2080 Ti. If they're correct on that, that's a pretty good deal. So I'll just have to wait. It depends on the availability, if I can actually get my hands on one or not. But I'd like to do one of the 30 series when I can get a hold of one. Like I said, with the time frame that I wake up and whatnot in the morning, I have a little bit of a better chance of getting it. I don't know if I'm going to get up at midnight to spend $500 or not, but I don't know, we'll see. Trying to make up my mind. This delay may help me to buy all of the other parts. Little flame, my 415 Ti is dying, so I'm just excited for all those secondhand cards about to pop up on the market. Yeah, a lot of people's going to be buying into these cards. I'm hoping it actually does some good for the aftermarket, the used market. If you guys have been down through my channel, you know, I did quite a few used eBay builds, which I quit doing them because the price for the ports on the used market is just as outrageous as what the new ports is. So I quit doing the used components for right now until everything calms back down. So we'll have to see about that too. Let's see here. I'm from GTG. Hopefully I can hang out next Saturday, because I got a couple of stuff I could use your input on. Stay awesome, Dave. Well, I plan on staying me. If that's what you consider awesome, then no worries about that, buddy. But hopefully before you go, next Saturday and the following Saturday, it'll be at 5 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. My full-time job's got mandatory overtime again, so next 2 weekends I'll be streaming at 5 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. Hopefully you can still catch me. I hate doing that to y'all. You know, I like to try to stay around 11, so yeah, that's probably 5 a.m. here. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, I don't like changing my time when I stream, but I gotta have the job to pay my bills with, so I can't tell them to go screw themselves quite yet. Hopefully one day I can, but right now I can't do that. You know, I gotta be there when they need me before I can pay my bills. If I can keep buying all this expensive tech stuff for the channel, right? I have to leave now, man. Life stuff. Hope you have a nice day and stay safe in the road. In the road. Philippines, yeah, but I'm already up at 4, so yeah. I'll see you, Dave. Thanks for the heads up. You're welcome. Appreciate that. I'm glad you stopped by quite often to see me. Eldoro, he's also leaving. You have a nice day, buddy. Cheers to you. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Glad you guys got to stop by and at least hang out with me for a few minutes here. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Alright, we can quit self-promoting here now. That's enough. Alright. Of course, sounds like the neighbors is outside shooting something. Ain't that nice? Alright. And of course, you got my dog going crazy. If you guys can hear him in the background barking. Let's see here. Who do we got here first? Rudo Rivera. Hey bro, I just saw your video. I have a big doubt here. I hope you can help me or someone here. I have the same motherboard I was using 216 3200 megahertz team first. I put the 3200 into the BIOS, but I just bought two 1632 Corsair LTXs. QR19, you deserve more subs, more subscribers. Well, thank you, appreciate that. They've been coming in pretty slowly. Actually, the last couple of days they've been coming in pretty good there on Friday. Thanks to the gentleman on Reddit. But I'm gonna get into that more. I try my best, and I try to do my channel the way that I'd like to see a YouTube channel done. I want to thank you for that comment. Appreciate that. So I replaced my old RAM, and PC works in auto at 2133, so I put it to 3200 megahertz in the BIOS, but then my PC don't send any signal to the monitor and keyboard. Just was on, but no signal. I restarted my motherboard settings, removing the battery, going back to 2133 with the settings should work. Yeah, more or less that's setting the BIOS back to factory. It'll start right at 2133 again. It just seems like that 3200 megahertz is a little bit too fast for what your motherboard's compatible with your RAM. I'd go in and try to manually set it, maybe 2933 or something, or maybe 3000 megahertz, and he could probably get that, get it working for him. Ali has I have been running a R9 Fury X Nitro Plus on a 430 watt power supply. How is that possible? The R9 Fury X. How is it possible to run on a 430 watt power supply? Actually, that card ain't as power hungry as a lot of people think it is. You know, and if you look up the R Fury X, you know, they're going to give you a higher wattage power supply than what you actually need. A lot of my builds, you know, the graphics card says it needs a 500, 600 watt, you know. You can put a 400 watt power supply in, it'll be alright. Joseph, have you ever thought of streaming games? I've tried it, but I got burnt out. So hard to grind way up. Yeah, if you look through some of my older videos where you go into the live section, I actually streamed Borderlands 3. It's actually why I bought the 2070 Super, was to be able to stream gameplay. But and I actually started a second YouTube channel, which was a gaming channel, which I never did do nothing with. I streamed to it one time, then I shut it down because I realized it was just too time consuming to try to run two YouTube channels at one time. And then I was going to switch to gaming just over to Twitch, and that didn't work out too well either because I found out it just cut too much into my time on focusing on this channel, and I need to get this channel built up before I expand into, you know, streaming on Twitch or streaming into onto another channel. I just need to, you know, I need to focus on this channel, get this channel going, get this channel stronger. hopefully one day I can get this channel up to where I can quit my full-time job, then I'm gonna have time to do what I love to do, and be able to start streaming, streaming some gameplay and whatnot. But yeah, I have tried it. And as far as the burnout goes, especially when you're starting out, it's hard. I mean, even with what I'm doing here on this channel, I put in a lot of time and effort into my videos, and right now I'm getting very little payback out of it. And it's hard to keep staying motivated to go when, normally on my live streams, I normally only have, right now today, I've actually got more viewers right now than I've had on the stream. I'm normally 3 or 4 people is about the most I've ever had on the stream. Sometimes I get up to 6. So yeah, I mean, I guess that burnout comes pretty easy when you're kind of talking to yourself and nobody's watching you. It is pretty easy to get that burnout. Ali, they recommend a 650 watt power supply with a new RTX 3070 bottleneck of Ryzen 5 1600. I think you mean that the other way around. I think the 1600 ain't going to give you the full performance out of the 3070. I think the 1600 will be holding back the 3070. Someone actually asked my opinion on that last week, about the 3600, and I think the 3600 is going to be a bottleneck. It's going to hold back the 3070. A lot of people, you should watch a lot of the bigger YouTubers that do a lot of testing and whatnot on graphics cards or CPU testing. They run the 2080 Ti with CPUs that ain't made to run with that power because it eliminates the GPU bottleneck. So, when they're comparing 2 CPUs together, they want the more powerful graphics card. That way it ain't playing a factor in it. I believe the 1600 will be holding back the 3700, which I also mentioned this last week when that question was thrown at me. Right now, 3 years ago, 6-core 12-thread processor just came into the mainstream and became available for everybody. Now they're getting GPUs that's, a 6-core 12-thread ain't going to be able to handle. A 3070, you're looking at 2080 Ti performance. You're probably looking at least a minimum of 8-core 16-thread on, if you're talking Ryzen, the 3rd gen to be able to do it. And not be able to hold back at 3070. I'm going to say 8-core 16 threads, so I'll probably be the minimum. I'm hoping I'm wrong on that, but yeah. Let's see, Joseph. Oh, I'm assuming you're into FPS games. Yeah, I like the games where I can run around and jump and kill people. Yeah, I like my first-person shooter games. Let's see here, Equip. He's also in chat. Welcome, man. Glad you could join me today. He says, hello, Dave. PC Master Race brought me here. Well, I'm glad that you found my channel. I'm glad you decided to stop in and hang out with me for a little while. Welcome in. Pull you up a seat. Ali Hasman, have you ever seen the COD Cold Water trailer? No, I haven't seen that one yet. I don't get a whole lot of time to watch trailers or anything like that. Looks bad, IMO. Yeah, I've never seen that trailer yet for that game. Alright, let's get back here to the Q&A. What we got here? Leanne Amostus, I guess is the way you pronounce it. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450. Updated my BIOS and still won't install Windows. And I don't know what to do. Well, if you can boot up your computer and you get into your BIOS, most likely it ain't going to be your motherboard stopping you from installing Windows. Most likely it's probably a bad hard drive or go in your BIOS and see if it's recognizing your drives. You may, one of your SATA cables may have came off or something. But usually BIOS won't stop you from installing Windows. I'd say check your drive, whatever kind of drive you got, hard drive, SSD, whatever it may be. Check your connections, make sure it's connected all the way. Let's see here. Next we got 5 days ago. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one because I don't even know what letters them are. Let's see, I updated my BIOS step by step, but now I have problems with my BIOS won't detect my SSD and HDD, only a flash drive. Can someone help me? I actually got a video on the channel, and I don't know why. I think it was F40 or F41. And it almost seemed like I had to unplug my 3.5-inch terabyte hard drive. It's almost like it stopped the SATA drive from being recognized. And I think that's probably going to be pretty well depending on what BIOS you downloaded and if there's any issues within that BIOS. I try to re-download the BIOS again, maybe go to that later version, or maybe even go back a couple steps maybe. Quipa, I guess is the way you pronounce that one, with a new 3070 bottleneck Ryzen 3600. I'm going to say yeah, I believe it's going to. Ali actually asked a few minutes ago about bottlenecking the 1600. I think to get your full performance out of the 3070, you're going to be looking at least 8-core 16-thread processor to be able to utilize that video card all the way, if not even higher than that. I mean, they're looking at, you're looking at better than a 2080 Ti performance. You're looking at least 8-core 16-thread processor, which someone, I think it was Joseph, asked if I was going to do any coverage on them. I'm thinking about getting a 3070, which I got the 3600 over there in that system I just built to test with. So I'm wanting to, if I get the card, I haven't made up my mind if I want to or not. I'm going to put it up against that 3600, mix it with that 3600 and see what kind of performance I can get out of it, see if it does bottleneck it or not. But also, I don't get this stuff handed to me, so I gotta wait till they become available on sale on retail, and then hopefully I can get one. I think the stock's gonna be very limited in the U.S. I think they're gonna sell out quick, so I'm hoping to grab one up maybe. But I would like to put it in that 3600 system I got over there and give it a try to see. That's something I want to test with that 3070. If I do get one, is how much of a CPU you need to be able not to hold that GPU back. Master Mascart, I guess is the way you pronounce that, 1878. Hey Dave, hope you are well, mate. I hope you're well on this Saturday as well. I want to thank y'all for joining me today. Alright, what else do we got here? Dave, life is scary. I need a dog. I got 2 of them. You want one? Yeah, life can be scary at times. I got 2 dogs. You want one? I'll let you have one. I'll talk to the girlfriend and let you have one. Maybe both of them. Let's see here. Back to the comments here from this past week. We have Havusha Kamal, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to overclock the Ryzen 5 2400G port 3. Hello, sir. Can you make a video on how to overclock the HP laptop? I have the i5 10th generation 1035G1. Its speed is 1.19 gigahertz. Please tell me or make a video on how to overclock Intel i5. Well, sorry, but you're on a laptop. Most laptops are locked. A laptop's made for power consumption, take up very little power. Most of the motherboards ain't overclockable. The processors usually ain't overclockable on them. I actually looked that particular processor up, and that they're locked. You can't overclock them. You know, that 1.19 gigahertz is about the best you're gonna get out of it, unless you go into a gaming style laptop, which you probably ain't gonna get an i5 in. It's gonna have the i7 stuff in it. But because of the heat, that them components put out, especially when you're overclocking them and whatnot, they're gonna be locked. I've never seen a laptop yet that you can actually get into the BIOS and actually overclock it. Most of them you can't even turn on XMP or anything like that. They're locked at what they come with. So sorry, I can't do a video on that for you, and I can't tell you how to get it done, because as far as I know, there's no way to get it done. Quippa, ha ha ha, yes please. Yeah, I'd like to sometimes, especially right now. I'm being pains in the asses. Let's see here, we have a Boto YT, a bot YT. Cooler Master Box Q300L build guide with the RX fix and the Q500L. I'm not too sure on what he's talking about. I'm assuming he's talking about the I think it was the RX 580 I put in that system. Will it fit? It should fit. If you look up the Q500L, it should tell you what the max length of the GPU is. They'll fit. And if you look up the graphics card you're looking to put in that case, compare the two. As long as it's shorter or the same length as what the case supports, it'll fit in there just fine. Equipa, I think he means will it fit. Which I think the QL500, the main thing between the QL500 or the Q500L and the 300 is just the placement of the power supply. The power supply is put in the Q500L, the power supply is put in the front of the case up towards the top, where your 5¼ inch base should be, but neither one of these cases got them, but it's kind of up front and in the top, so that shouldn't interfere with the graphics card whatsoever. So yeah, I think you'd be alright with, depending on what RX card you're looking at, I think you'll be alright with that. Let's see here. Filippi Golia, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with that. Gigabyte Reader on RX 5600 WindForce unboxing and overview. Hey, when I start my PC, I touch the power button to turn it on. My Gigabyte RX 5600 XT WindForce OC light flashes once, only when I turn the PC on. I wanted to know if this is normal. Besides that, the GPU works fine. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a power light. It just kind of tells you that the motherboard and the operating system is, that you're getting power to your card and that everything's going good. Mine does the same thing. Just a little, I think he's talking about that little blue light back there by where the power lines, where your power plugs go. And if so, yeah, mine does the same thing. I think it just kind of tells you that there is power getting to the graphics card. So yeah, that's fine. Mine, the one I got seems to be running without no problems. Let's see here. We have Joseph Rich. How to dedicate more RAM to the Ryzen integrated graphics. I have a 16 gigabyte dual channel, still 2 gigs. I've heard quite a few people tell me that. Mine was showing, even with 16 gigs installed in my system, it was showing I could go up to like 20 some gigs just for the integrated graphics. But I've heard quite a few people say that they could still only do 2 gigs of RAM dedicated to their to the integrated graphics for some reason. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I mean, it ain't like I switched anything else or anything that I didn't show in that video to dedicate more RAM to it. So I'm not too sure on why some people's having problems with only being able to get 2 gigs of VRAM for the GPU, or the iGPU built into them. Sorry, bud, but I don't have much of an answer for that one. We have Roxanne Origin, I guess we pronounce that. How to update the ASRock motherboard BIOS. Super helpful. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome so much. I'm glad I could help you get that BIOS updated. Who do we got here now? Who's next? Peter Ozzy. Thank you. Tremendous help, straightforward. That was on how to update the Asus BIOS for the Prime X470 Pro. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you. Glad you got that BIOS up the way you needed it to be. Let's see here. Resolved the Great. How to build a $900 all AMD gaming and streaming PC for 2020. He says, cool, Dave. Well, thank you. Glad you enjoy it. We have Bennett Kanwal, I guess we pronounce that, Kawar. How to overclock your RAM on the Gigabyte B450. My PC crashes a lot because I overclock my RAM. Oh, excuse me. Is there any fix? Sure, there's a fix to it. Go back in and if you turned on your XMP, you have to turn off your XMP. And then manually overclock it, try a lower frequency, maybe with a little bit more voltage. Something like that. Joseph, I've been scrolling through your old videos, and catching thumbnail will definitely help gamer the subscribers you deserve. Sure, Daves. Yeah, I like to spend a little bit more time on my thumbnails. If you looked at some of my thumbnails here recently, I've been trying to do a little bit better job with my thumbnails. But I do work a full-time job and whatnot. My time's pretty limited, so I kind of just slap them together as quick as I can, which I need to focus a little bit more on those. Somebody else mentioned that to me quite a while back, that I need to improve my thumbnails some, and I do. But my biggest thing is, I think where I'm struggling the most on YouTube is my average duration of what people watch of the videos. But you'll see that change too here coming up. I've cut the intro out and whatnot, and I've had the comment made several times within the comments, and even in real life. You know, people find out I work on computers, or I know this kind of stuff, and a lot of people tell me that, you know, they wouldn't expect a man like me to know anything about this kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe I look too much like a roughneck or something, but maybe it's because I put off that I'm stupid, where I'm really not. But yeah, and I think that's what it is. You know, within the first minute and a half, usually, is when a lot of people cut off the videos. You know, I mean, my click-through rate's pretty good. But yeah, I do need to work on my thumbnail some. You look here at my let's see here. You look over here at my analytics. My click-through rate is actually down right now. My click-through rate's about 9.6%. It's usually about 10.4, 10.5%, which it's down a little bit right now. But it's usually, like I said, it's usually 10.4, 10.5, and from what I'm understanding by other YouTubers, you know, anything around a 10% click-through rate's pretty good. I agree with you. I do need to work on my thumbnails some more, but I think I need to work on my retention, or getting people to watch the videos longer. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with need to work on my thumbnails a little bit better. Let's see, a QR19 is Ryzen 3 3300X better than the Ryzen 5 3500X? That's a good question. 3500X if I'm not mistaken, 3500X, or at least here in the States anyways, the only way to get a 3500X is to get them in a pre-built machine. You actually can't buy one. The 3300X, good luck on even trying to find one of them that are reasonably priced. I mean, they're only supposed to be a little over $100. You're lucky to find them for $150. You're gonna pay $150 for a 3300X. You might as well get the 3600 for $175. So good luck on even trying to find a 3300X. Which one's better? I really couldn't tell you. I haven't had a chance to play around with either chip yet. So I really can't answer that one for you, which one's better. Joseph, yeah, you definitely need a statistic duration per video for reviews, unboxing, and benchmarking. Yeah, my retention time on my videos ain't very long. And like I said, I think it's mainly because I don't look like a tech head. I don't perceive myself as a tech head. A lot of people look at me because I work on my own vehicles. I do a lot of my own repairs around my own house. I'm more of a roughneck. I'm more of I don't know. A lot of people just don't think I know much about tech when tech is what I know. Masker 1878, where in the U.S. are you based? I am based in West Virginia. Small town. If you watch college football, which I don't pay no attention to, you ever hear of the West Virginia Mountaineers? I'm actually right outside their home city, right outside of Morgantown, West Virginia. Joseph, what are your thoughts on the new NVIDIA card? Do you think it can beat the RTX 30 series? The new Navi cards, do you think they can beat the RTX 30 series? Well, judging from the rumors. The big Navi cards, they've been teased a little bit here and there, but you don't have the leaks on them like AMD usually lets out. I think the Navi cards I think they're going to stand toe-to-toe with that 30 series. I think we're going to see the same thing with these cards that we've seen with the 2000 series. AMD's going to launch their cards, and NVIDIA's going to answer back by opening up the cards that they've got. That's where you got the Super from. I think something like that's going to happen again. I think AMD's keeping a tight lip, and there's a reason why they're keeping a tight lip on the big Navis. There are other cards before the Navis. There was a lot more rumors about them coming out. There was a lot more performance leaks coming out on them. This big Navi, it's kind of hard to find many leaks or anything that's justifiable that makes you think that they know what they're talking about on them. So yeah, I think the big Navi cards I think they're going to be right up there with the 30 series cards. I really do. I don't think AMD is going to sit back and let NVIDIA just run away with it. Let's see here, Joseph, and from the PS5 and XBX, since I think they are based also on the new Navis. Yeah, they're supposed to have a cutback version of the big Navis. So yeah, that's what it is. And of course, what they're going to offer the PC gamer or the PC race is going to be a lot stronger than what they're putting in them consoles. I believe Navi's I think it's going to hold its. I think they will hold their own against the 30 series cards. Maxter 1778. Nice. I'm from Liverpool, UK. So not a follower of American football. Yeah, a lot of people that don't follow American football. If you're from a different country, you probably don't even know where West Virginia is even located at. A lot of people in West Virginia, a lot of people in the United States don't even know West Virginia is its own state. Leo 20, I guess the way you pronounce that, Leo XX. Hi from Germany. Hi, how you doing? Glad you found me. I'm glad you're watching this morning. Glad you stopped in. I'm interested in the new NVMe technology in the PS5. New technology. Ain't that just a regular NVMe drive, the 4.0 NVMe drive? I could be wrong on that. I don't keep up with the consoles a whole lot, but I think that's just the 16 times 4 times 16 NVMe drives, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Like I say, I ain't much into the consoles. Alright, let's flip back over here, back to the comments here. A lot of overclocking my RAM. Is there any fix? I think I answered that one. Silver Clock, thank you Silver Clock for trying to help here. You put the wrong values in for your RAM, surely. You can go back and add a 0 to the values to set auto. If you want to have a stable system, you can try software before destroying your motherboard. It changes the values in Windows 10, but not permanently. And check if your motherboard supports your max RAM frequency, because it can be the reason. If not, I suggest a change. Thank you, Silver Clock, for answering him, for trying to help him out. I like seeing members of the community trying to help each other out. It makes me feel good. But pretty much he's doing the same thing as I said, to reset his settings and try lower volume. Apparently his RAM and motherboard ain't compatible with the max rate settings. Let's see here. We have Laskisa Tamayas, I guess. I don't know. Cooler Master Box Q300L build guide for 2019. Hello there, please help me. What is the name of the screws you use to secure the GPU? If you're talking about that particular case, it's got the expansion slot covers that you got to wiggle back and forth and snap out, I believe. If the case you're using has them, it's usually the same screws that you use to put your power supply in with. If the case that you're using has got the slot covers you got to take out the thumb screws with, to remove the slot covers, you just put them thumb screws back in. But it's usually the same screws that look like what hold the power supply in with. Maxter 1878, everybody knows West Virginia from the song, but not many could point it out on the map. You're right there. When I was driving a truck over the road, which West Virginia and Virginia is two different states. They split back in the, I don't know, 1800 sometime. I don't know a whole lot of history on it, but they split off. But I told everybody I was from West Virginia. Oh, you're from the western part of Virginia. No, I'm not from the western part of Virginia. West Virginia is its own state, which is kind of sound a little funny to me because I was talking to truck drivers. Truck drivers ought to know this. But yeah, a lot of people don't know where West Virginia is at. You know, and as far as the song goes, yeah, it's where a lot of people know it from. Joseph, the $299 price tag of the XBX Series S makes me want to try console gaming, LOL. Kior19, thank you for answering my question, sir. Love your content. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out with me today. I'm more than happy to answer your questions the best that I can. $300 price tag on the XBX Series S. I thought them was supposed to be going for like $500 or something like that. Like I said, I'm not much into the console, but I thought they were supposed to be like $500 or something, just like the PS5 was. And console gaming's got its good points and its bad points. And just like PC gaming does, it's got its good points and its bad points. It was the XBX Series X. Oh, the Series X instead of the Series S. Okay, so it's probably got a little bit less memory in it, a little bit less storage in it or something like that for $300. Okay, that's understandable then. Yeah, I mean, they both have their, you know, when you're talking console compared to PC, there's trade-offs. Um, and if you want a more in-depth feel with the game and whatnot, with the high refresh rates and whatnot, you want PC. Console, they just work. You know, you don't have to deal with incompatibility issues. You don't have to deal with Windows recognizing, you know, especially having to deal with Microsoft. Microsoft's a pain in the ass sometimes. But you know, there is some benefits to console gaming. You know, normally you just hook them up and you go. You know, it is what it is. Reservoir the Great. Morning, Dave. Great content. Well, thank you. Glad you stopped in and said hi with me this morning. Hope you can hang out a little while with me this morning. Like to see y'all coming in. But yeah, console and PC, you know, they both have their ups, they both have their downs. It all depends on, you know, you're a little bit more limited on the consoles than you are the PC. I don't know. I enjoy my PC a lot better than I did console, but then again, I'm a tinkerer. I like to tinker around with my system. I like to be able to upgrade, you know. Consoles, there's no upgrades to them, really. And it just depends on, you know, if you want something, it's like Apple and Windows, you know. Apple, you pay a little bit more for Apple, but you know it's going to work. You know, there ain't much tinkering with it. You know, you're restricted to what you can actually do with the Apple products, but you know it's going to work. Windows gives you a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility, but there is instabilities in what you got to deal with. That'd be another way to look at console compared to the computer. QR19, I think you should add music into the background. Think I ought to put a little bit of background music on? Well, I don't know. If I like the music too much, somebody get up and start dancing. I start dancing, y'all gonna run from me. But I can take that into consideration. Maybe some low, soft music in the background. I could possibly do something like that. I ain't gonna try it right now, but I'll take that into consideration. And if you guys have a video idea or whatever you guys like to see me put up, or you guys got a way for me to improve my videos, you know, let me know. I'll be more than happy to expand on that. And you know, if I think the video idea is a good idea, maybe I'll do a video on that. Which actually I got one coming up here about that. QR19, haha, would love to see you dance. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I look like a Steve Walker up here trying to dance. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Let's see, the screws to secure the GPU. Okay, I did that one. We have Mitch Talamading, I guess we pronounce that. Q&A, hanging out with Dave, episode 41. Hey Dave, what is the half XB Evo behind you? What do you use it for? Great videos, man. Love the passion. Your videos look better and sound better. Keep it up. Cheers. Well, cheers to you as well. What's in the half XB Evo behind you? Well, if I could, I'd pull it down and show you. But basically, the only thing laying in that case is a graphics card. I got my XFX RX 588 gig card just laying in there. There ain't a system in it. I've actually pulled the system out of it and put it into another case. So there really ain't nothing in that case. Let's see here. Sled CS. Keep it up, Dave. I plan on it, buddy. I plan on keeping it up as long as I can. Reserve the Great. What's your opinion on full water cooling systems? Opinion on full water cooling systems. Well, if you got a lot of extra money to spend, you got some extra, a lot of extra time to put into your builds. You got extra time every 6 months to a year to be able to flush that system out, clean everything out good, refill your loops, everything like that. I do have to admit the full water cooling system, you know, that you build yourself with the lines and everything, they look a lot better. It makes your computer more you. I mean, you gotta kind of weigh your options, you know. You're talking water cooling, you're talking fittings, you're talking the tubing, you're talking the water blocks. You know, you could easily take what would be a $500 system, which I wouldn't recommend water cooling a $500 system, but you could take that $500 system and it could turn into a $1,500 system real quick. And you have the time of learning how to do it. You also have the time that, you know, you're going to have your computer torn apart and working on it for, you know, especially if you're just learning how to do it for a month or so while you're trying to get all your tube bins just right and whatnot to run them. I mean, the finished look is great. I mean, there's no question about it. You know, to me, it's mainly a look thing. It's more personalized than any other way that you can do a system to make it part of you, or you know, you add your own flair to it. But to me, it's a big expense. You know, my channel is kind of based on the budget side of things, so I really don't get much into that on this channel. You know, it does keep your components running cooler. There's no question about it. There's a big learning curve to it if you want to get into it. It is more expensive, but you get better temperature, you get better performance out of your ports because you can keep your ports cooler as far as your CPU, GPU go. And if you're looking for what they call aesthetics, you know, the way they look, you know, you can't really beat them. You know, yeah, they're expensive yet flashy. You know, pretty well that's what it is. You know, and the same thing, you know, just like RGB, you know, if you watch my recent video, the $900 gaming PC and streaming box for 2020 all AMD, there ain't nothing flashy about that. You know, I look at the performance before I worry about the flashiness. That's the way I focus the money for a system, you know, because you could get a $900 build I did. There was ways you could save money on that build by buying a cheaper motherboard, you know, by buying a cheaper case and whatnot. But if you want to flash it up, you want to add the RGBs and all that to it, it gets expensive pretty quick. And the full water tubing cooling your system is the same way. I mean, you know, it is very expensive, it is very flashy, and it's time consuming. You know, I don't know what your situation is, but my time is pretty valuable to me. You know, and to learn a new trade to bending the tubes and how to get not to leak, you know, and that's another good thing. You know, it's another kind of bad thing about water cooling is, you know, you gotta worry about leaks. You know, that 280 millimeter refractor design Celsius Plus you see me put in my case, that's the first time I've ever attempted water cooling. That's the first time I ever installed an all-in-one cooler. I mean, you know, to me the expense and the bling to it ain't really worth the risks of doing it. I mean, it's a personal choice. It's your money. You know, that's what's great about custom PC. You know, you build it to fit what you want. But to me, if you're going to spend an extra $500 or $600 on a system to put water cooling in it, unless you're at the very top, unless you're running the 3950X with a 2080 Ti or the what's the new one coming up, 3090 coming out, you shouldn't be water cooling your system. You know, unless you're at that top point of performance and there's nothing else you could put in your system to improve the performance of the system, then that's when you get into the water cooling side of things. That's just my opinion. which makes sense to me. You know, I'd rather see you put that money into something that could help the performance of your system, unless you're at the very top. And then if you want a water cooler, then that's a different situation. Like I said, you know, I'm more about the performance than I am the bling of a system. Just the way I am. Let's see here, Joseph. Yeah, say that here in the Philippines. Ha ha ha. They put RGBs inside the case and call it a gaming PC while having an Athlon CPU. Ampnik. Hello, Dave's greeting from Poland. I came across your channel recently. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I'm glad you came across my channel. I'm glad you decided to come in and hang out with me today. But yeah, Joseph, you know what's funny? You mentioned about having the RGBs and whatnot with the Athlon processor. If you go back and look through my channel, like I mentioned before, you know, I got a few builds on there that I bought used ports for from eBay, and I built systems. And I'm talking, you know, i5 systems, 6th gen, you know, the 1060, 6 gig cards, you know, decent performing systems. When I was trying to sell them, because they didn't have RGB in them, because they didn't have a tempered glass side panel, people was actually telling me that I was scamming people because it wasn't a gaming computer. Even though the performance numbers was there, I wasn't lying about what kind of frame rate you could get in a game or anything like that. They were saying it wasn't a gaming performer, it wasn't a gaming PC, because it didn't have the RGBs to it. It didn't have the tempered glass side panel to it. So it wasn't considered a gaming computer. I was scamming people when I was trying to sell them systems because it didn't have the RGBs to it. What the hell does RGB have to do with a gaming computer? I don't know. I mean, as long as the performance is there, it don't make much sense to me. But apparently, people will care more about the way they look than the performance. I mean, maybe I should have went with a cheaper graphics card and put RGB in it. I don't know. You know, apparently that's what people are wanting nowadays. Which kind of makes me kind of think about the way I do my builds. Maybe I'll start focusing a little bit more on the aesthetics or the way the system looks more than just the performance like I normally do. I don't know. But it just kind of ticks me off, you know, when someone says I'm trying to scam somebody when the performance is there to prove that it is a gaming computer. But because it ain't fancy and it don't have the bling, it ain't considered a gaming computer. I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. QR19, do you have a Discord server, sir? No, I don't. I've heard of Discord, but I don't deal much with them. I don't know nothing about them. MNIX PCs, even without RGB, that have good color schemes are good. I may have a lot of RGB, but I would think twice paying extra for it now. But yeah, it's fancy marketing. No wonder people fall for it. Right on the point. Joseph, yes, people here also are being scammed, making up pre-built prices with very subpar components and just calling it RGB inside. Don't bother reading my nick. Yeah, I don't know. The RGB craze, me personally, I was doing computers before the RGB craze, and I can't wait till it dies off. I'm hoping it's just a craze. I'm hoping it dies off. Because, like I said, you know, people said I was scamming people when I wasn't. And that just, it rubs you the wrong way. Even though the performance is there, because it didn't have the looks, it wasn't a gaming computer. I don't know. Like I said, most of the systems I build or what I show you, you know, it is performance based. You know, Dave, yeah, but it tells you something that people want RGBs. Yeah, kind of in the middle of that, you know, I kind of said it, kind of making me rethink the way I do my systems and the way you know, maybe I should add a little bit more RGB and just figure it into the price. But, you know, even that last system I did, that all $900 gaming PC, it was gray and black. It was a decent looking, you know, I didn't have sleeve cables or nothing like that. There ain't no RGBs in it. There ain't no ARGBs. Nothing like that, but it's a sleek black looking build. You know, I think it looks pretty good the way it is. Which I do have, I do want to order some RGBs to go back onto my series about ARGBs, RGBs, LEDs, you know, and do a cheaper how to put this kind of lighting into a system on the cheap. Because there is cheaper ways of doing it than the video did on how to hook all that up. You know, I way overspent on that, you know, but there is cheaper ways of doing it, and I'd like to implement that into that system, kind of show you guys how to do it on the cheaper price point. So sell it to them if you're in it. Yeah. It's all about RGBs. I don't know. I just don't see you spending much money on something that ain't gonna give you better performance when the money would be better used to buy you a better graphics card or a better CPU or something that could actually impact your performance. It's just hard for me to justify putting, you know, even if it's only 50 or 60 bucks, you know, that could be an extra tier of a graphics card. It could be an extra 8 gigs of RAM in your system. It could be an upgrade to your CPU. You know, I mean, it's hard for me to justify putting 60 or 80 bucks into RGB or LED lights that does nothing for your system when you can put it in your components that does do something. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm too old school. Maybe that's what it is. You're alright, but it's market. What you gonna do? Emotionally driven. Yeah, you're the reason I built my first PC, Habigo. Habigo said you're the reason why I built my first PC. Well, I'm glad. I hope you're enjoying that PC. I hope my tutorial is pretty in-depth for you and kind of made it pretty easy on you. Hope it wasn't too bad. My build has an i3 9100F and an RX 580. That's pretty good pairing, not bad. Hey, but Nix, you're not old school. You're reasonable, Dave. I bought RGB for the first time 2 years ago because it was something fancy and new. I alone had to fall for it to realize that it is not worth it. Yeah, and that's the big. Well, if you're trying to sell a system, apparently it's worth the money. You know, it's probably worth its weight in gold if you're actually trying to sell a system. But I've never really got into the RGB stuff and the lighting, you know, which I understand, you know. It's a way you can change your lighting. It's a way that you can make it more personalized. You know, it is a personal computer. You know, you can make it more personalized with the colors. And if you get tired of them colors, you can push a couple buttons or go into your software and change the color a little bit, make it different. But, you know, it's something different. You run your own PC business from what I can see on your channel. Yeah, I do. I actually still have the license for it. I am licensed PC repairer and build and repair shop. I don't do much with it. I kind of still own the license to it. I still fill out my taxes every year as it. You know, but I really don't do much business. Whenever I was advertising for the repair side of stuff, you know, I hate to say it, but mainly because of YouTube and stuff like YouTube, you know, everybody was telling me I was charging too much because they could do it themselves. You know, a lot of people don't realize that time is money. You know, my prices that I charge for repairs and for builds is half of what anybody in this area charges. But, you know, so I don't really do a whole lot with it. I don't advertise for the business. I don't run nothing through the books. It's pretty well a dead business, but it's still open. I ran my own business since 2014. I opened the business. It was doing good till 2016 when my wife got sick and I closed down the business because I moved in with my brother and sister-in-law to help take care of her. I didn't really close it down. I still have it. Here recently, within the past year or so, I've tried to reopen it, and everybody thinks they're a technician. Nobody thinks they need to pay somebody to work on a computer anymore because of YouTube. Basically because of YouTube. You know, hey, I can look up a video and learn how to do this myself, but they don't realize a lot of people don't want to learn how to do this. But I've got so much slack in my advertising for the repair side of things that it just ain't worth my hassle. I get more people hassling me over my pricing for what I charge to do a job than what I get jobs coming in. So yeah, I ran for quite a few years. Maxter's 1878. It's not into RGB, but I have thrown a couple of strips in my PC just for a bit of ambience. Yeah, I can see that. If you go back and watch the Q300L build I got, I actually built the system, and the guy contacted me wanting to buy the system, but he wanted lighting in it. But he wasn't into RGB or nothing like that. He was just wanting something to kind of showcase the ports on it. So we decided to go with white fans just to have a little bit of lighting in there, just to showcase what was actually in the, you know, showcase what's in the case. You know, that way he could look over there and actually see what he actually bought for his money. Which that ain't too bad. You know, you could do that fairly cheap as well. But you know, he didn't want the light strips. He didn't want the fans that could change 90,000 million different colors or nothing like that. He just wanted a little bit of a white light in there just to be able to see what he bought. So yeah, that's that you know, some people enjoy that kind of stuff. You know. Appendix, right? You gotta respect yourself. Yeah. It's just too much of a hassle. There's way too much. Kilo 19. What do you think about the minimum requirements to play Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p at 60 frames? I don't know. I haven't even really looked into that game. I've heard of it, but I've never really looked into the I never really looked into the specs of that game. Let's see here. Requirements. Oh, okay, let me flip it back over here. Show you what I'm looking at here. Here are the recommended system requirements for Cyberpunk 2077 based on predictions. Looking at CPU, i5 4670K with a Ryzen 5 1600. Boy, I still love the way games do that. A 4-core that's that old compared to a 6-core that's that fresh. Yeah, whatever. 16 gigs of RAM. Okay, 16 gigs of RAM. AMD Radeon X64 a 1070. Wow. That one definitely plays on the GPU side of things. That one definitely plays on the GPU side. What? No, I don't want your bell. Quit. Get out of here. Go. Leave me alone. Whatever. Accept the cookies. Yeah, track me. I don't care. Ain't no big deal. System requirements. Oh my God. What the hell's up with all these ads? Come on, really? The hell did I click on anyways? Apparently something that wasn't good for my computer. Coming soon, September the 2nd. Can you tell me what the requirements is for it? For 1080p, you need at least a 1070. Let's see here. In Phoenix, I really appreciate business people, model citizens, I to say. You prefer reading comments out loud. I think you don't have to read out loud if it's easy. Not too many people here, so we know what you're answering to. But it is up to you to OFC. Cyberpunk won't be bad because it's a single player. It's recommendation, not minimum. Okay, Dave, head now for something to eat. Keep up the developing of the channel. I will do, buddy. I'm glad you could hang out with me. I'm glad you came in and hung out with me for a while. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. CXXXX. I like it when you read comments out loud. No homo, your voice is good to listen to. Well, there's a reason why I read chat. The main reason why I read chat is I don't have super chat because I ain't a big enough channel yet. So whenever the video goes live, whenever the live stream goes live as a video, the chat don't show up on the right side. So for everybody to know what I'm talking about, I need to read chat to be able to keep the viewers that's watching at a later date in tune with what's being said and why I'm answering or why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. That's why I read chat out before I answer them. Resolve the Great. Your RAM overclocking video was great. Very easy to follow along. Well, thank you. I try to make all my videos pretty easy to follow along. I pretty well base my videos on the beginner. You know, I try to make them easy to follow. I try to do them step by step. I try to add every detail that you need without making them too long. You know, I try my best at doing that. Like my last video was like 38 minutes or 40 minutes long, which is a little bit long for build video, but you know, I try to get the content out there and get you what you need, but not over concentrate on one aspect of it, but try to still to make it where somebody that's never done it before can do it. You know, I try to follow, you know, I don't know, it's kind of what I'd look for in a video if I'm looking up information or something. You know, I try to get straight to the point, get it over with. If you want to get to know me, you want to get to know anything else about me, that's why I do my live streams. You know, my videos is straight to the point, straight to business, get the information out there and it's over with. You want to come hang out with me, you want to see me laugh, you want to see me cuss, you want to see me drink, you want to, you know, hang out, you want to get to know me a little bit better, that's why I do my live streams every weekend. You know, but my videos is pretty well straight to the point, you know, focused on the details and no longer than what they have to be. You know, that's the way I kind of do my videos. That's the way I kind of look at them when I'm editing my videos out, you know. I do leave in some mistakes from time to time, especially in my build videos. I do that because you're going to run into mistakes. You're going to have stuff that you shouldn't have done that you did do. And I leave some of that in my videos to show you that, you know, hey, it does happen. This is the way you work around it. You know, just take your time, think about what you're doing to get around your, you know, whatever it may be. But most of my, you know, like my overclocking stuff and whatnot, I'm pretty well focused on the project at hand. I want to get the information out there. I want to get it out correctly as shortest time as possible. You know, that's what I expect in the video when I look up something on YouTube. You know, I don't sit there and tell jokes. I don't go into rants very often. Try not to anyways. You know, I don't tell you my life story within a video. That's why I do the live streams. If you guys want to get to know me personally, that's why I'm here on Saturday mornings. You know, but yeah, I try, that's the way I kind of do my videos. Sleep CS, the videos are long, but help a lot. Yeah, my videos do, you know, and that's kind of goes back to the same thing, you know, my videos do stretch a little long, but I try to be detailed in what I give you. You know, and I feel if I make them any shorter than what I do, especially never doing it before, you know, if you've done it 2 or 3 different times, you know, they're a little bit too detailed for you. But if you're brand new to overclocking, or you're brand new to this, or you're brand new to that, you know, you watch my videos, I want you to understand not just how to do it, but why you do it. You know, it's like the old saying, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Or, you know, you can feed a man for a day by giving him a fish, or you can feed him for life by teaching him how to fish. You know, I try to have a mix in my videos to where I don't make them too long, but I make them long enough for you to understand why I'm doing what I do. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. Now, depending on how much you're up on electronics or computers or whatnot, you know, to someone that's done overclocking 100 times, or someone that's built a computer a half dozen times, you know, I go into so much detail in my videos that probably bore a lot of you, and I admit to that. But to someone that's never seen a video before in their life on how to build a computer, or how to overclock a GPU, or how to overclock a CPU, I try to make sure I get all the basics covered. That way you ain't left with questions at the end of the video. Or if you have to, you go back and rewatch it. You know, I try to get as much detail as I can, but still keep them as short as I can. And it depends on your experience within the overclocking or the building process. If the video is just too long, you know, it depends on how much you actually know compared to the average man that's never done it before in his life. I try to find that mix or that balance. And I know some of them do kind of go a little long, you know, but it is what it is, you know, and I am here for the novice or the beginner, you know, trying to get into PC building and trying to get the best performance they can out of the components. If it's updating the BIOS, if it's overclocking, whatever. But I want to make sure I have the right information out there, and enough information just not for them to be able to do it, but to know why they're doing it. You know, sometimes, you know, I break down the terms and I say, you know, this is what this actually means. Because a lot of times when you're in a BIOS and you look at a certain term, a lot of people ain't gonna know what that term means. So yeah, my videos do go a little long at times. And that's kind of the way I look at it. You know, when I do my videos, I look at it, okay, if I've never done this before in my life, what would I want someone to explain to me? What's the most important part of this? You know, that's the way I kind of look at my videos when I'm editing them out. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for doing this. Maybe I'm right. But, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. Alright, let's get back to the Cyberpunk 2077, 20, whatever this, yeah, 2077. You're looking at an Intel i5 4670 or an AMD Ryzen 1600. Still yet you're looking at what, 6-year-old processor, 6th generation 4-core compared to 16 3-year processor. Okay. 16 gigs of RAM, 70 gigs of space on a hard drive. The Vega 64 or the 1070. And that's for 1080p gaming. That tells me that this game is going to be very, very video dependent on the GPU. I think it's going to be, yeah, it's kind of crazy to need that. But I love it. It's another saying i5 that's 6 years old. That's a 4-core 8-thread processor compared to a processor that's 6-core 12 threads from what 3 years ago. I don't know. Sounds kind of strange to me. But yeah, seems like it's gonna be a pretty GPU dependent game. Yeah, your Gigabyte B450 BIOS video brought me to you. Very grateful. Most videos I found to update BIOSes were too gimmicky. Maxter 1878 gonna need 32 gigs of RAM for Cyberpunk 13. Well, it's recommended 16 gigs, so yeah, probably 32 gigs of RAM would probably do it. Maxter 1878, your Gigabyte B450 video BIOS brought me to you. Very grateful. Most videos I found to update BIOSes were too gimmicky. Yeah, a lot of them, you know, a lot of people that do tech videos, I don't know how to say this politely. And I found myself doing this as well. I do this so much that I skip over a lot of the details. I do normally catch them to be able to add them into my videos. But once you do something so many times, it just comes so repetitive to you that, you know, you need to step back and think, okay, if I was a new person doing this and never done it before in my life, what would I need to know? And that's the way I take the approach on my channels, on my videos. You know, if you've done overclocking, if you've done a BIOS update, and you've done it 2 or 3 different times, you know, maybe my videos ain't right for you. You know, and I'm alright with that. You know, but a lot of them do seem gimmicky. A lot of them, you know, they forget the small details that it's not a first-time person doing it needs to know. You know, and that's pretty well the way I got my channel set up. You know, it's set up to be for the noob. You know, the newbie or someone just now getting into this kind of stuff. You know, but yeah, I try to cover the videos and the content the best that I can. Maybe I'm wrong on doing it the way I do it. But you know, I'm not looking for people that's more experienced in computer building and stuff like that. You know, I'm looking for the novice. I'm looking for someone who's getting into it, you know, because that's where the helping of people come into play. You know, if you've done it a half a dozen times or a dozen times, you know, you ain't getting much benefit out of my content. And I'm here to help people. You know, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong direction. Maybe I need to change my focus. But that's what I'm looking at. Let's see, we got Keith McCain, and that was how to build the $900 all AMD gaming streaming PC. Excellent build guide. Here's a good tempo to it. Has a good tempo to it. Keep up the good work. You explain a lot of little details, but don't take forever to do it. I laughed when you mentioned orientating the CPU cooler. I built about a dozen PCs and have torn mine apart countless times. Sometimes you miss a step. He sends me a link and he says, whoops. Well, let's open this link up, which I know this is safe. I've looked at this before. It looks like he's with a high-end system. Looks like he's well into the ARGB. Looks like the motherboard he's got built on water blocks that he ain't utilizing. Looks like you got all these DIMM slots filled up. I'm not really seeing a whoops on this one. I don't know what he's talking about saying whoops. His top fans is exhaust, or not by this picture anyways. Okay, cool looking build. CPU temperature, he's definitely a high end because that's on the motherboard. That CPU temperature is actually on the motherboard. But yeah, looks like a pretty good build. But Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Let's see here. We have Sofrin. How to build $900 all AMD gaming streaming system. Nice build. Almost the same as mine. Well, then you got a pretty good system right there. Overdrive Tech. And this one's actually in the chat right here. Mnix. Awesome build guide. I love the Massified C. He says, same got one. Seems to be a pretty good case, but I'll get into that in a little bit here. There's a side note on that as well, on that $900 all AMD build I put together. Let's see here. We have Lamaraca. That was on the $900 build. Very nice video. Keep up the good work, Dave. I plan on it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We have Cambrish. I guess the way you pronounce that. Great channel, dude. Keep up the good work. I was on how to upgrade the graphics card. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Irazilla Ghost. Irazil. I guess we pronounce that. I don't know. How to build the $900 AMD. Very nice build guide. It's very informative. Well, thank you. I'm glad you found some good information in that one. We have Ryan Zanga. I guess the way you pronounce that. How to update the graphics card in the gaming PC. Loving the amount of effort it takes in these videos. Well, thank you. I do put quite a bit of thought into my videos and try to keep them interesting for you guys. Try to get pretty well detailed. We got K Hazy. Great video, man. You deserve more subs with this high effort content. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Daniel Hafizan. Evie? I guess we pronounce that? I don't know. Very nice video, Dave. Like your chill vibes from your vids. Well, thank you. I try to be kind of chilled and kind of laid back and relaxed a little bit. Michael Grummet. Actually, really well done. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And this here is where I actually realized where the channel started doing so well. Nathan Rothschild. How to upgrade the graphics card. Someone posted on Reddit about how great your videos were. Hope you get many more subs. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's where I realized someone posted on Reddit about my videos and why my channel started doing so well, which I'll get into here in a little bit. Tech and Gaming ZW, 19 hours ago, how to upgrade the graphics cards. Here from Reddit. Eli Time, how to upgrade your graphics card. Great stuff. Normal Davis, how to build a $900 all AMD gaming and streaming. He says nice. VK, 16 hours ago, how to update the graphics card. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Where we going? I'm all in. Let's go. Max Lurio, how to build a $900 all AMD. This is epic. Pedwoods fans, Pedwoods, how to upgrade your graphics card. I saw your Reddit today. Just subbed. Well, thank you for the sub. I'm glad you joined the community. Joseph, are you ready for Cyberpunk? Sure, Daves. I've never actually did a whole lot of research into Cyberpunk. I don't even know what the game's even about. I've heard about it. You know, I know there's a lot of hype around this game. But I've never really looked into it. I don't even know what it even is. I haven't even watched any trailers or anything. I don't even know the concept of it. So, nah, not really ready for it. I really don't know much about it. I know it is a remake or a genre of games from the past. You know, it's been around for quite a while. Cyberpunk's been around for quite a while. But, nah, not really. I think my system's ready. I mean, I got the 2700 with the 2070 Super Graphics card. I think my system's ready for it. As far as what the game is, I have no idea, bud. I really couldn't tell you, Joseph. I haven't put much thought into Cyberpunk. Okay, let's see here. We got Candy Bird. How to build the $900. It says nice video. Sleed CS, well, she's in chat today. Nice build guide. Keep it up, Dave. Well, thank you, Sled CS. I plan on keeping it up. Let's see if we got anything else that came in. That's the end of the comments so far. I may have got a few extra ones here. Nothing left spam, nothing for review. Let's see here. Why You Moral One? That's a nice name. At least I can pronounce that one. How to build a $900 all AMD gaming system. A good alternative option for the power supply would be the Be Quiet System Power 9, 500 to 600 watt. I'm not sure about the pricing in the US, but in the UK I paid $54.99. I paid almost $100 for that power supply in that build. So yeah, that would be a very good alternative. Depending on the power supply you can get and at the price you can get it for, I way overpaid for that power supply. I admit that. I know that. But with the way everything's going in today, you know, it's kind of hard to. Power supplies are something that's definitely in short demand right now. Let's see. I know I kind of went through them last comments kind of quick, but it seems like most people came in from Reddit, which kind of brings me into my next subject here for the day. Let's see here. We got peace in chat. Glad you can join me. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good. Your RAM overclocking video helped me a lot. Keep the good work going. I plan on doing the best that I can do. Thank you for joining me today. Cheers to you. If you guys been around the channel any, I've been struggling pretty much with getting my the people in the community and whatnot. You know, I've been getting kind of hard to get subscriber counts, which I kind of touched on that throughout the video here today, throughout the live stream. You know, I need a little bit better thumbnails. I realize that, but time restraints, you know, I kind of just throw them together as fast as I can. I say, oh, peace, you just subscribed as well. Well, thank you, appreciate that. Welcome to the community. I'm glad you joined us. You know, and looking at the retention time on my videos, I need to work on that as well. I know I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. I haven't been real steady with my video uploads. I think that's why the channel hasn't been growing as well as what it should have been. But something happened the other day. It was actually, I believe it was yesterday, actually. And someone kind of threw me out there on Reddit. If everybody in here ain't from Reddit, which I know a lot of you probably are. Some of you just mentioned that in the chat over there today, that you found my channel because of Reddit. I want to throw a big thank you out to this guy, or this lady, or whatever the sexual thing is. You know, and I couldn't figure this out at first, but here it is. McCain Kai, I guess is the way you pronounce that, I'm assuming. Sounds to be a little Hawaiian or whatever. You got a nice little photo there of the ocean. But he helped out the channel quite a bit by sharing this post, particularly on Reddit. And I don't know, I've been kind of putting my videos up there on YouTube and just kind of letting YouTube handle it. I haven't been doing a whole lot with them. I don't pay for advertisement spots. I don't, you know, nothing like that. I want the community to grow naturally. You know, as people find the videos entertaining or a little bit informative or whatever you want to call them. You know, I like to help people. But I definitely owe this man a big thank you. I actually started me a Reddit login. You know, we have to log into Reddit to be able to do anything. I've never been on Reddit before till yesterday. And they wouldn't even let me even leave a comment on his post over my videos. Just for the simple fact that I haven't been on Reddit long enough. So I personally messaged them. I ain't going to show you the messages. You know, it's personal messages. There's a reason why they're considered personal messages. You know, but I pretty well just thanked him a lot for doing what he did. For even just put me out there on Reddit. Yesterday while I was at work, you know, I was kind of watching the numbers on YouTube through my phone, you know, the YouTube Studio app. And my numbers kept going up. And they kept going up. And they kept going up. I thought maybe there was a mistake on YouTube's part, you know. I've never seen numbers like that go up before. But I owe him a big thank you for putting this out on Reddit. And I have a feeling a lot of you, I believe this is where you guys came from, was from Reddit. But I want to show you something that I normally don't show. But my subscriber count for the past 28 days is up to 217. Now, what this man did on Reddit, to get a lot of you here and whatnot, if you go back through here and you look for the last 28 days, we even knock it down to 7 days. I mean, it don't really matter. You're looking at 2 subscribers per day, 1 subscriber per day, a negative 1 subscriber per day. That means I lost a subscriber that day. Yeah, I picked up 2 subscribers on the 8th. And I got 3 subscribers on that day. The 10th, which was Thursday, I got 1 subscriber. And yesterday while I was at work, like I said, you know, I was looking through my phone every once in a while when I could do it at work. And I noticed this. 138 subscribers in one day. And as you can tell by looking at this, I mean, we look back at the last 90 days. And I have never, ever seen that many subscribers subscribe to my channel like yesterday. I mean, that is tremendous. 138 subscribers in one day. I'm normally looking at 2 to 6 on average per day. And what he did for the channel is outrageous to me. I've been stuck on, you know, the community's been stuck on 750 subscribers, 760 subscribers, back and forth for quite a few months. And thanks to him, we're up to 905, almost 905 subscribers for the channel. You know, it means the community is growing. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but when I was going through the comments, flip back over to the comments. A lot of these comments, you know, you're getting 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 thumbs up, 5 thumb up, you know. And normally my channel don't do this. You know, it's because of this man sharing that one post on Reddit that has made the channel pretty much what it is. I mean, you know, he's actually brought me the attention to a lot of different people. Joseph, no worries, Sir Dave. You deserve more. We will help you get there. Oh, I'll get there sooner or later. But, you know, I want to send a big thank you out to this guy for doing this. I'm assuming it's a guy. I could be wrong. It could be a lady, but I'm assuming it's a guy. Just because 99.3% of my viewers are guys, I'm assuming this is a guy that did this. And like I showed you, you know, my analytics, you know, within one day is 138 subscribers. I definitely want to tell this man thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I went from like 750 subscribers to 900 subscribers within a day and a half. Man, it's just awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see, peace. I came here a month ago when I was looking for a RAM overclocking video. I wanted to overclock it a bit more today as well, so I rewatched the video and YouTube did its thing. I got your stream on my suggestion page. I'm glad they suggested me to you finally. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're joining me for the day. At least hanging out with me for a little while. I know Saturday probably ain't the best time for me to be doing my live stream, but yeah, it's what's best for me, so that's what I'm doing. Start with your thumbnail revamp, Sir Dave, or you can actually hire a artist on Reddit, for a very decent rate of commission. I've thought about that. Actually, I didn't know anything like that was on Reddit. I'm not very familiar with Reddit. To even send this guy a personal message to thank him for putting me out there on Reddit, I had to start an account. But I've been like, I like to get someone to do my artwork for me. You know, it's kind of hard to say, but I kind of got more money than I do time. Which kind of brings me into the next couple of videos coming up here shortly. But this man that actually sent this out on Reddit, I really appreciate what he did. I really want to thank him a lot. He said he'd try to be here in today's live stream, which I haven't seen him in chat yet, so I don't know if he's watching or not. But if so, thank you. Appreciate it. You know, I actually, when them numbers started going up like that, you know, I actually thought it was a mistake from YouTube. Then I actually thought maybe another YouTuber actually gave me a shout out or something that made it jump like that. But, you know, it was a guy's post on Reddit. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But with that being said, you know, I'm going to give that man a big thank you. He well deserves it. You know, he's kind of brought the channel up to where it is today. I've gained quite a few people in the community thanks to his help by sharing on Reddit. So yeah, but he definitely deserves a big shout out for it. And I don't want to show the personal messages because it is a personal message between me and him. But he also mentioned about him getting started in his own YouTube. You know, I've inspired him to do this himself, even though he don't know as much as I do, which I don't know how that's possible. But you know, and I wish him the best. And anything I can do to help you out, bud, you let me know. Peace. See you later, mate. Gotta eat my lunch now. Take care. Well, you take care. I'm glad you could join me on Saturday morning. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me for a little while. But yeah, if he's watching, you know, anything I can do to help you out to grow your channel. You know, he said he was inspired to start his own channel. You know, anything I can do to help you out, bud, you know, let me know. You know, maybe we can get together and do a live stream like this with both of us or something. I don't know, but we'll think of something. You know, I'll be more than happy to help you any way I can, because you definitely boosted my channel to a new level. You know, the community's up over 900 subscribers. By my calculations, doing 2 to 6 subscribers per day, it took me 3 or 4 months to be able to get to that point. I definitely owe you a lot. But anyways, I do owe you a lot, but I think that'd be about it for that. I don't want to burn the topic out too much. This week's video coming up, like I showed you, you know, the channel's up to over 900 subscribers, which means we've had tremendous growth this past week, especially yesterday, thanks to his post on Reddit. This week's video is going to be the performance of the 5600 XT WindForce card. I was actually working on another video this morning. I was actually going to do an overclocking video on this $900 all AMD gaming and streaming box that I put together. I downloaded the software to do it. And maybe you guys can help me with this. I can only think of one solution to this. Some of you seem to be pretty smart in the tech. Maybe you guys give me some ideas on this. I downloaded the software, hardware monitor. I downloaded Prime 95 to do the stress test on the system. And before touching anything, the only thing I touched was the XMP. I turned on the XMP for the profile, for the memory, to overclock the memory. I got hardware monitor opened up, started running Prime 95. And within 10 minutes, the CPU started throttling. That tells me that the stock heatsink that's on the CPU ain't doing its job. And it's the 3600 with the stock heatsink. And in my years of doing computers, the stock heatsink is usually good enough to run your CPU at 100% usage for 10 to 15 minutes without even getting close to max, you know, without the max. And this is at stock speeds, and this thing's overheating. Within 10 minutes, this thing's hitting 94, 95 degrees temperatures, and it's starting to back itself off because it can't handle the speeds because of the heat. I've took the heat sink off, cleaned off the thermal paste, put new thermal paste down, reinstalled the heat sink, thinking maybe, you know, maybe one of the screws didn't catch or something, so it didn't have the proper contact to it, or the heat sink wasn't properly installed, or the thermal paste wasn't quite enough, or something like that. I've also threw an extra 120 millimeter fan in front of the case, so now it's got two 120 fans pulling in with one exhausting out. And still yet within 10 minutes of running Prime 95, this thing's hitting the temperatures to where it's throttling itself back. Nick Gurr. What's up, Dave? Oh, not a lot. Nick, how about yourself? Glad you could join me today. Cheers to you, buddy. But, you know, to me, it kind of tells me that the stock heatsink ain't doing its job. Which, like I said, you know, the time I've been doing computers, it's kind of strange that AMD would... Joseph, what is the voltages? Out of the box, the Asus Prime motherboard that I'm running this thing on is running at 1.33 volts. 1.33 to 1.34 volts. And I know there's been a concern with the voltages in the past with AMD motherboards. And I've went into the BIOS to undervolt the CPU, but it won't let me. I can set the CPU max voltage to 1.2 volts, but it will still let each individual core hit that 1.33 to 1.35 volts. And it's kind of surprising me that Asus won't let me control that, or I can't find no place in the BIOS to be able to undervolt these things, to be able to keep these temperatures under control. I mean, with the way it sets with the stock heatsink, most of the time with a stock heatsink, you can get a little bit of an overclock. Not much, but you can get a little bit over what the CPU can handle on its own, or what the motherboard will let it go up to on its own. But with this thing, even at stock speeds, within 10 minutes, it's hitting its max thermals. You know, it's cutting itself back because of the max thermals. And I can't figure it out. I know, yeah, pull off the stock heatsink, throw it over the hill, put you an aftermarket cooler on it. But that don't say why it's doing this. You know, just like my videos, you know, I like to explain why it's going on. And I can't figure out why it's going on. My 2400G, my 2700 that I run, you know, they've all ran fine with stock heat sinks. And this is a stock speed. You know, I can understand if they're getting up there at 94, 95 degrees temperatures with an overclock on them, but this is at stock speeds. It's got me puzzled. Which I'm going to work on it here as much as I can to try to figure out what's going on with it. But I'm the kind of guy that I like to know why it's going on. Nick Gurr, I'm doing well. Just spun some guy's jaw after he tried to take my wallet. Well, I hope you at least protected that wallet and you got your money and your credit card secure, hopefully. Joseph, strange occurrence. Joseph, have you tried switching boards? No, I haven't tried switching the motherboards. I was looking to do an overclocking on that B550, because B550, by the specs, should be able to overclock better than the B450 motherboards. The motherboard is the one thing that I haven't tried yet. And I've also thought about doing the other CPU. But it's, I don't know. I mean, I got the build up on the channel of, you know, this is the way you build a $900 game PC, this performance you can expect, which is this week's video coming up. You know, it's what you can expect out of the 5600 XT WindForce card. But, you know, as we're looking to do some overclocking with it, which the Ryzen 3600 is known to do decent overclocking. So ain't the 5600 XT. They're both components are known to do pretty decent overclocking. And I don't know, maybe I got a bad CPU cooler from AMD. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Which I got the Hyper T4 back there someplace back there on the shelf that I could put it out and put an aftermarket cooler on it to try that. Which I want to try it regardless, because I know it's going to solve the issue. But still, it's kind of hard for me to recommend to build this computer at $900 when I'm knowing I'm having these issues. I've actually thought about putting a video out on the issues with this motherboard, because I believe it's within the motherboard and that voltage issues that it won't let me cut back them voltages to be able to keep them temperatures under control. But then again, why is AMD sending out stock coolers that can't control what their allowance is for the voltage? I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of a wishy-washy thing. I understand this. And I know the simple fix of it is to put a different air cooler on it and go on with the tests. But yeah, it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to, it's hard for me to recommend you build this $900 system when I'm having these issues with it. Joseph, yeah, I'd like to see what causes it. If you'd be able to figure it out. No, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. It may take me a while, but I will figure it out. But, you know, it's just, you know, is it the motherboard? Is it the, maybe I got a bad CPU cooler. Maybe I need to just order another stock Spire cooler, send that one back or whatever. And it's very unlikely, but it could be the CPU. But I doubt that one. I mean, CPUs going bad is very rare. I mean, you know, if you get a bad CPU, you got one in a million. Yeah, but that's kind of the problems I'm dealing with this $900 build going on. Like I said, this week's video coming up is the performance of the 5600 XT. Of course, I'm working the next couple Saturdays, like I mentioned earlier. Hold on 1 second, guys. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I need to get an intermission screen set up, I guess. Let's see here. Monique, hey Dave, it's good to see you. I came late, but I've seen the things you said, and I appreciate your kind words. Really happy to see your channel growing. I can't wait to see what else you create. I have to run pretty soon, but it was awesome seeing you, so happy day to you. Can't wait for that big 1,000 work. Yeah, I can't either. I appreciate you putting me out there on Reddit. Like, I don't know if, apparently you just came in. Hopefully you're still here. But I want to show you what you've done for me. Let me flip you over here. And right here is my subscriber count. I'm usually down around 2 to 6 on average per day. And you look here, yesterday, once you posted on Reddit, I went up to 138 new subscribers for the one day. And you're right, that is awesome. And I really appreciate it. I really want to thank you. I was struggling for the longest time with 750, 760 subscribers. And because of that one post you put out, it put me up over 900 subscribers. Right there it is, black and white, 905 subscribers. You know, before your post, you did so much for the channel, you know. I don't know if you was here earlier, you know, I told him that I personally messaged you on Reddit to tell you thank you, and you was inspiring to do YouTube. If there's anything I can do to help you out, you let me know. I will be more than happy to do whatever I can do to help you grow. He's over here in chat. Hopefully more people share the channel. So the trend continues. I appreciate that. You're more than welcome. You know, I mean, 138 subscribers in one day. Well, I'm used to 2 to 6 subscribers. I mean, there's some days that I had a -1 right there on Monday, September the 7th. And then all of a sudden to shoot up to 138. Like I said earlier, you know, I thought maybe a bigger YouTuber ran across one of my videos or something and gave me a shout out. But no, it wasn't a bigger YouTuber, it was you. You know, and I really appreciate that. You really helped the channel grow a lot in the last day. I really appreciate it. You know, if there's anything I can do to help you, you let me know. But I'm glad you could stop by and hang out with me at least for a few minutes today. But anyways, anywho, how I should say that, I guess. Anywho, if you enjoy this kind of content and whatnot, you enjoy the live show, which I hope you're enjoying. I got quite a few people watching me right now, which I'm not used to. I'm kind of nervous. I'm not used to having 9 people watching me. But the next couple of weeks, I am back on mandatory overtime for Saturdays. I mentioned it earlier. I'm back on mandatory overtime for my full-time job. You know, guys, I got to pay my bills, so I got to keep my employer happy. So I got to work the next couple of Saturdays. I will still be here on a Saturday morning, or I will still be here on Saturdays. It won't be morning time, but it'll be 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's the way I normally do it when I work on Saturdays. You know, I move it up from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., which, like I said earlier, I hate switching the time of my live stream. You know, because people kind of get in that routine. You know, people kind of get used to when I'm supposed to be live. I hate switching it up, but I got to keep my employer happy. So yeah, there is that. You know, the next, what is it, the 19th? Is it the 19th? Yeah, the 19th and 26th I will be working. So the 19th and 26th, I will be here. I will be hanging with Dave. You know, you're all more than welcome to come and hang out with me. But it will be at 5 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. Which hopefully one day I won't have to keep changing the times on this. But it is what it is for the time being. You know, gotta make the money when I can to keep going, right? Gotta pay my electric bill, my cable bill at least, to be able to keep the videos coming to you. At least them 2 bills, if nothing else. I don't know. And by looking at me, I could go a couple months without eating. It probably wouldn't bother me too bad, but, you know, but we went through the comments. Any other questions or comments or concerns I got in chat, go ahead and put them over there now, and I will be more than happy to answer them to the best of my abilities. I want to thank all you new members, which I think a lot of you just came from his shout out on Reddit. I appreciate that tremendously. Still got 8 people watching instead of just me, so that's a good plus. Really appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out with me. I hope I wasn't too boring today for you. Hopefully I entertained you enough or gave you enough information where you want to come back next week and hang out with me, because I will be here. And like I said, it will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to put out the notices as soon as I can, but when I'm working, you know, there's a lot of times I don't get off till 3:30, 4 o'clock. So by the time I get home, I come home, I jump in here, and I start the stream. You know, I try to put out the news as much as early as I can, especially on Instagram and Twitter. I create the streams as soon as I can, possibly, here on YouTube. That way I start sending out the notifications about the stream going live. You know, I try everything I can to get you guys notified as soon as I can about the streams. But anyways, with all that being said, I think I'm going to get out of here for the day. Enjoy the rest of my weekend. I got quite a few more beers to enjoy. But if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like. There's that dislike button if you don't like it. I understand that as well. There's also a comment section. I'll go through them next weekend when I'm live as well. There's also that subscribe button if you haven't already hit it, and the notification bell as well. QR19 says bye, Sir Dave. Well, see you later. Hopefully you can join me next weekend for the live show. Nico Callis, how's it going? Pretty good, buddy, but I'm getting ready to close it up for the day, actually. Sharia Agawal, I guess the way you pronounce that. Bye, Sir Dave, we love you. Well, love's right back to you all. Appreciate that. Maxter1878, enjoy the rest of your weekend and take care. Hopefully see you over the next few weeks. I will be here, like I said, next couple of weeks. It'll be 5 p.m. instead of 11 a.m., but I will be here. And also, if you guys are on Instagram or Twitter, links are in the description below. If you'd like to come over and follow me, I won't kill your inbox. But I do put up photos and whatnot of videos coming up, of stuff I've got coming in, which is pretty slow because I do buy everything out of pocket. But, you know, from time to time, you'll catch something nice. Joseph, nice to hanging out on your stream, sir. Well, it was nice to have you here for the whole stream. If I ain't mistaken, I think you were one of the first ones into the stream. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with me today. I appreciate that. It means a lot to an old man like me. And with all that being said, you all enjoy the rest of your weekend or the rest of the day, whichever the situation may be. And I'll see you next weekend or in the next video. Bye.